Hey, you guys, I apologize for the timing of beating this out. I was holding out on the fact that we could potentially arrange a situation where we could, give this season the attention it deserves and do it the right way by getting together and hosting a bit more of a traditional banquet. But, unfortunately, given the climate of things right now and kind of the spiraling of the cases and the way things are escalating, it's just not seeming to be a possibility. But I did want to take the time to dedicate, the energy and effort to make sure that we wrapped up the season in a way that we can feel good about. As much as we'd love to get in a room and be together and kind of commemorate the season that we had and um, kind of what went into it between the coaching and the parents and the players and really just the combined collective effort to create a special situation that we did. This unfortunately is kind of the way we have to do it. So I do want to make sure that we honor the boys and show our appreciation for what we were able to do. So I just want to start by saying thank you guys for taking the time to watch this. Parents, players, staff involved. I think it was a great effort this year and something I certainly will always remember being the first season with the program. A lot of productivity and I think positive energy going in the right direction. So I think a great stepping stone in terms of a springboard to kind of continue moving in the future. And something that we were really happy about looking back on things, although maybe it didn't quite end the way we would have wanted it. Certainly, you know, something outstanding that came together in a very special year for the 2020 fall season. So without further ado, I'll get into it. Anybody that wants to pick up their awards, I'll have them in my room in the classroom, and I can also send things home for those of you guys that are still unable to come to school or are remote. I can send things up to the office as well if that works. But wanting to make sure that everyone does get their certificates and their plaques and their awards that they fully deserved and worked hard for. And we'll kind of get into some of what those were over the next few minutes here. So just kind of a JV season recap. I thought the approach to take the two younger groups and put them together this year with the JV white and the JV green team was an outcome that I think we were very happy with. There was a great competitive environment and a good spirit amongst the boys and understanding, that we had several players that maybe transitioned playing with the JV white group and then, practicing well, performing well in games and we're able to kind of get promoted to the JV green team, and we had some guys that went the other way as well. Some guys that maybe early on were with the top JV group, and then spent some time getting minutes in other games where they could find fit. So I think it was just a really a good new fresh approach to developing the young guys. I mean, constant attention between both Jamie and Joey and again, just a situation where you kind of have to earn it every day. And I think that's why we look at this record and see 21 wins, two ties, two losses. And it's a product of the environment that was created. And that's a testament to the young guys and how hard they worked and how hungry they were and how committed they were to trying to buy into a system that, maybe is not always as forgiving in terms of where you're going to play and competing with 30 guys for playing time, and for them to buy into that and understand the responsibility and the accountability involved, I think is only going to help our program in the future and the understanding that every day is a new opportunity to earn your keep and to show your worth. So, really special season out of both groups. You look at the goal differential. Not sure if I can slide this out of the way. I mean, we were at almost 100 goal differential positive, which is just outstanding. And again, a testament to the quality that the young guys showed and just working to make each other better every day with a bit of positive competition and positive pressure that we saw. So a great season for the JV guys, a very, very bright spot for the future of the program and with possible production that can come out of those young guys down the road, whether it is at the next level for JV or whether it is the varsity level at some point. So very, very appreciative of that group and proud of the way it came together and the work that they put in. We'll look at some certificates earned by these JV guys. So our certificate winners of JV participation was Don Briones, Lincoln Burns, Tyke Bucksbaum, Brady Bivotes, Drew Ebersberger, Michael Haynes, Brady Ho, CJ Imhoff, Michael Jankowski, Max Johnson, Nick Kelly, George Kresno, Elijah Kurt, Ivan Latinovich, Josh Leftrich, Jacob Latani, Manny Liu, Will Murphy, Frankie Nixich, Parker Pendleton, Jeremiah Powell, Jack Riley, Isaac Sewin, Ezra Staub, Ari Stafford, Lucas Ty, and Jakaya Townsend. I believe this may be covering. I was going to say I didn't want to leave you out there, Phoenix Vo as well. So again, a great group of young guys. Hoping so many are ready to return and understand the expectation and kind of where the bar is set and looking to make jumps going forward. We also had Henry Nelson, who unfortunately was ready for a roster spot, but suffered kind of a long-term injury, and he was fantastic in helping us with some of the logistical and organizational stuff as a manager. So Henry, you do have a manager certificate coming as well as an appreciation of your efforts and attention that you gave us this year, despite being injured, which I know can be a frustrating position to be in. But we really appreciate you sticking around and just acclimating yourself to the program and what we were trying to do. So for some specific team awards for JV, then we put this to a vote. Of course, always the coaching staff has in mind maybe where some of these things should fall, but understanding that the team has a good pulse on each other and understanding each individual role and how they feel guys are contributing is very important. So we took this to a vote, and it was interesting because similar with the varsity outcomes, the voting of the team was right on par with what we as a staff felt like these awards could accumulate to. So here are your JV award winners. The offensive MVP was Josh Leftrich, who actually broke our JV scoring record. And he was just, if you were able to watch him play this year, Josh was a goal scoring machine. I mean, he did it in different ways at different times. And was outstanding with his ability to find the back of the net. So Josh was the offensive MVP. The defensive MVP was Lucas Ty, and this was a very, very close race in votes, and the staff agreed that there were really a handful of guys that could have received this award, given that the JV team was so defensively sound and so stingy giving up goals. But Lucas was, of course, a rock in the back for that group and defended very well, played very intelligent, was very vocal for the guys around him. Mental attitude award was Manny. And again, Manny was just the guy that showed up to training every day with a good attitude, very focused on the task at hand, making sure that we had a good session and that guys were focused and ready to get better. And that is just invaluable to what we're trying to do and the direction that we're going. So this was almost unanimous. Manny really scraped up the votes here and clearly has the respect of his teammates in terms of a guy that is going to show up and do what he's asked and be accountable in his tasks. And then the most improved player was Phoenix Vo, which was very exciting to see the guys vote this way. A lot of guys got better this year, so this award could have potentially went multiple ways, but Phoenix was one of those guys who came in as a guy in the JV white group, took that as an opportunity, not as a situation where he was unhappy not being with the top JV group, but just being happy to be a part of the program and in the mix. And very quickly, over the first couple weeks of training and through the first couple games, just showed himself as someone who wanted to get better, who was willing to listen, very coachable, and before he knew it, was getting valuable minutes with the JV green group, and then even started at right back several games for that top JV group. So a perfect example of someone that can be a positive byproduct of the program and of the system. If you take your own personal beliefs and commitment and desire to want to get better and pair them with what we want out of the players and out of the guys, which is to want to get better and to buy in and to do the things that you need to do, whether it's fitness or speed of play or just general approach to the game, whatever that is that we think you can get better at, taking that upon yourself to work on, and just an excellent model of what the system can do for a young guy if you're willing to put the work in. So congratulations to all four of you guys. on your team awards, and I have your plaques available and ready whenever you want to get them. So well done, boys. Then to the varsity group, the recap here, this team ended 14-3-1. And again, if you look at the goal differential, I think it's a story of how fun this group was and how energetic it was at times, and just the threat that they could pose when they were checked in. So again, I think my face is in the way here. I'll drag myself out. But you have a plus 44 goal differential, and in there a nice little win streak where you see quite a bit of green, where the group was just hot. So started out on the road at LaPorte, and then of course dropped one at Chesterton early, who we figured we would see again. But overall, an amazing effort from this group. I think the seniors, I can't possibly put into words what it meant to have a group like that was so vested in changing a culture, and not just saying the words or listening to the words, but really putting in the work and the stuff behind the scenes, all the grinding that took place to not just quote unquote change a culture, but to genuinely go out and build something new and different, in a way that is going to stick for a long time. I mentioned to the seniors after the Chesterton game, where the season came to a close, unfortunately, and just making sure that they walked away with their heads up, because although, of course, we would have wanted to end it differently, and we'll always kind of look at, what could have been, that senior class, you guys, you have nothing to hang your head about or look back on and regret, because you did everything that you were asked and more, in a way that completely shifted the dynamic of how this program will move going forward. And every bit of success that we have going forward is on your shoulders, because you were the first group to enter this new era, as so many people talked about, and take it upon yourselves to roll up your sleeves and make it happen. So I can't thank you guys enough. I love each and every one of you, and appreciate your contributions and your selflessness and your willingness to just roll with us and trust that we could do it together. So certainly work to be done for those of you guys that plan to return. No means to be satisfied by this at all, but understand that it was special and is a step in the right direction. So this group ending 14-3-1, again, with the opportunity to kind of put their own stamp on the program, I think is so special. And you again saw the product on the field and how enjoyable it was to be a part of. So hopefully young guys understanding now the mission that's lied ahead and the path that's been carved for them, as well as any returners that are ready to take the next step into what that senior class kind of laid for them. And then we had, of course, certificates across the board for guys that have either been here now for the first time with the varsity group, or are making their second year of contribution, or maybe even third and fourth, and that's here. So we have a number of different varsity letter winners. We had first year varsity letter winners in Seth Anderson, Drew Brandt, Ethan Brubaker, Ian Cox, Colin Devine, Johnny Georgeski, Michael Georgeski, Jack Isroff, Will Meyer, Owen Stafford, and Henry Youngren, all your first year varsity letter winners. And many of them will be back next year, hopefully, with the right mentality and the right, commitment and approach. Second year varsity letter winners were Aiden Blanco, Noah Kintner, Michael Magnetti, Luke Riberty, and Brees Walls. Third year varsity letter winners were EJ Dreher, Jason Isley, Ethan McFadgen, and Cole Vandiver. And then Diego San Juan with a remarkable achievement of earning his fourth year letter as a member of varsity for all 4 years, which is an outstanding feat for the program and for himself personally. And then we had team awards for varsity, which again were voted on by the group, but it's amazing when a program is gelled the way that we were able to create this year, how the voting of the players kind of echoes what us as a staff feel are appropriate as well. And the varsity team, I thought, hit the nail on the head. We kind of talked amongst ourselves as a staff in a final meeting and said, where do these team awards belong, and what would you feel comfortable giving according to kind of the statistics and the outcomes and the efforts and results of each player, really. And so here's kind of what the guys came up with, and again, we thought it echoed what we would have said as well. Because of the voting, we did have a lot of MVP votes. So what we did was we gave an overall MVP to the top vote getter in any category. So we allowed the guys to vote for offensive MVP and defensive MVP separately, but then took the total vote getter in either category and made them the overall MVP. And then the second place winner in whichever category took the most votes was then ranked as the offensive or defensive MVP in that specific category. So just making sure that guys get the recognition they deserve. Your overall MVP for the team was EJ Dreher, who really had a breakout season and enjoyed himself on the field this year, and is an absolute model and example of, again, hard work, selflessness, commitment, dedication to your craft, and a great teammate for all those guys this past year, and will return next year, hopefully hungry and ready to go. Offensive MVP was Jack Isroff, who again contributed with a handful of goals, handful of assists, a lot of stuff that can't be measured on the field, things that won't show up in the stat book, but just an overall hardworking effort this year, and making guys around him better, and bringing a good energy to our team, giving us some opportunities, to go have fun in the corner, like we kind of grown into enjoy doing. So good year from Jack, and he won the offensive MVP deservingly so. Defensive MVP was split quite a few ways as well. A handful of guys were able to receive votes here expectedly. I think defense was a strong point for us this year, with a lot of different guys helping that cause, and Brees Walls was certainly one of them. So he was able to win the Defensive MVP award, and congratulations on that. Your Mental Attitude Award winner this year was Jason Isley. Jason did more than we could have asked for this year in terms of his flexibility, his willingness to serve the team in different roles at different times. It's not easy to be asked to play outside back when the other team has a top winger, but then the very next game be put up top and asked to go try to score a goal. And Jason never questioned what we asked of him. He was always open to different positions in different formations at different times, whatever we needed. He was great at training in terms of filling different roles for different moments, and again, always encouraging to his teammates, always expecting the most of them, always making sure that we were operating high class, high character when we were on the road, on the bus, in the school building, just wherever we were. Jason was, again, he embodied, I think, the type of player you would want on your team. And I think the guys obviously second that notion with the award they gave him. And then the most improved, and we had a lot of guys that got better this year. We really did. Once we were able to kind of forge a connection and build a trust in which we felt like we were on the same page as a staff, as a team, as players, and the chemistry was forged, you saw guys just really taking off personally. As a team, I think it happened again as a byproduct of individual players getting better, which caused the team to get better. And again, Seth, much like I think Phoenix showed with the young guys, that if you just convince yourself that you want something, you'll get it. And Seth was someone early on in the year that we spoke personally about as a staff, and myself individually, letting him know that he has an opportunity here within this team this season to grow, but he has to want to do it, and he has to be patient enough to let it happen. And again, you watch his progression throughout the year, never being upset, never disgruntled, never frustrated, always just understanding, what can I do to get better? When my moment comes, how can I maximize it? If I have a setback, that's okay. I will overcome it. And he went from a guy that early on maybe wasn't getting any minutes in games to then creeping into some minutes off the bench and giving some production, and then starting some games and providing again moments that were beneficial to the team. And by the end of the season, we're in a sectional game against Portage where things are difficult for us and we feel like we should win the game, but it's just not happening. And he single-handedly lifts us with 2 goals, and provides the energy that kind of breaks the floodgates, and we go on to win the game 5-1. So again, so happy for him in the season he had. Him hoping to come back next year and using that momentum and that learning opportunity of this season to carry on is, I think, something that again will drive our team, if we all can adopt that mentality that every day is a new day to get better, which Seth showed us this year. So those are your team awards. We did have a couple other individual awards outside the team that were again very cool. I think when our players can get the recognition they deserve, and again a reflection, I think, of our team success. But here are your individual award winners outside of the team. We had 4 all-conference winners in the DAC. EJ Dreer, Brees Walls, Jack Isroff, and Johnny Georgeski were all able to receive DAC awards. And then we had several academic all-state, which I think this is something that should not go unnoticed and deserves praise as well, because we have a lot of very, very intelligent players on the team and guys who understand that soccer, it doesn't last forever, and there has to be a backup plan at some point, which is your academics and your schooling and what you will do going forward. And we talk so much about that as a group, in terms of how what we do on the field does apply to bigger things, like little moments or seeds to plant, where touching the line on a sprint, that is the equivalent of doing that little extra work that will pay off later. And we talk all the time about character, and kind of our running joke is whenever we do things that maybe aren't quite perfect, but they're good enough, we kind of talk about as a group, do you want to be good or do you want to be great? And even just little, times of stretching, we might be doing a recovery session and we're stretching, but are you really stretching the muscle, or are you just pulling it so it looks like you're stretching? And again, that goes back to, do you want to be good or do you want to be great? And when I look at these guys in the academic all-state column, these guys want to be great. They achieve highly in the classroom, and there's guys that aren't on this list that are very, very intelligent young men as well. We had several guys that just missed this list. It required a 3.7 or higher, and we have 3.6 guys that are, again, nothing to be taken away from, but certainly not quite included on this list. But just really admirable stuff from a group of men that are asked to do so much in terms of their being accountable to their families, being accountable in the classroom, being accountable to a team, maybe working a job, maybe making sure that they have time to socialize. It's a lot, and I think we have a group of players that understand what it's going to take going forward to be great, and the work that is required to do so. So again, Seth Anderson, EJ Dreer, Seth, I think I left out the T in your name. I apologize for that. Brees Walls, Henry Youngren, Will Meyer, Ian Cox, your academic all-state winners this year. All-state, we did have EJ that made the 3rd-team all-state, which is just fantastic when you look at the talent around the state and his opportunity to get himself, in that conversation, and hopefully striving to do even more going forward. And then we had 2 all-district players as well. EJ made 1st-team all-district, and Jack Isroff was 2nd-team all-district, again, which just shows the individual quality they showed this year, and what hard work can do, as well as the team around you, because I do think individual rewards are a reflection of a team. So I think between the all-conference winners here you see on this page, the all-state winner, the all-district winners, those don't happen without a group of guys around those players that receive the awards, that are helping them along the side and encouraging them and supporting them both on and off the field. So very, very proud of those displayed on this page as well. So that kind of does it for our individual awards and our season recaps. Again, you guys, I have everything that you would need here. Certificates, awards, chevrons, varsity letters for those of you guys that earn them, plaques, everything needed I have here. We can make arrangements if you guys would like to get those. But I did just want to thank you guys again for taking the time to tune in and just listen. Again, this, believe me, is not at all what I would like to be doing. I would like very much to be shaking people's hands and thanking parents and players and staff for their contributions and efforts this year towards what I certainly deem as such a successful year and a season. It drives me every day to look forward and understand the longevity we can create here and the positive experience we can give for everyone involved. Um, Parents, I mentioned you earlier. I again, at almost at a loss for words for how much you guys were able to do for me this year, especially coming into a program with high expectations and wanting to perform in a way that makes everyone proud, us, the school, the players, the community, the parents, and you guys just doing so much for the program on both levels, varsity parents, JV parents, the organization of meals and drinks for travel and pasta parties in the parking lot against all odds with COVID, and financial contributions and time contribution, the energy provided, the communication via email and text and word of mouth, and just everything that goes into making a program tick the way that it should. The investment was I am so appreciative to be in a position to lead a program that has the support that we do from you guys, and you can see it with the results of the way the players come out of it and the appreciation they have, and um, again, just the celebrations on senior night and the coordination that it takes to get players what they need after a game, before a game, getting young guys to training, carpooling, just the list goes on of how important and how significant it is to have a group of parents that are willing to do what it takes to make sure that every box is checked and that everything is accounted for. I can't possibly thank you guys enough. And I'm truly grateful, like I said, to be serving in a position that calls on your guys' help and assistance to tie everything together. So thank you so much for that again. And then the last thing I want to send you guys off with, I know it's tradition for senior speeches, so again, it would have broken my heart to send a video and not let the seniors say their piece. So I did reach out to seniors individually and ask if they would just say a few words about their time with the program. Again, both before I was here, while I was here. Um, it's a time in your life you'll look back on and always remember, for good, for bad, for better, for worse. The connections you make, the time you spent, the memories that are developed, they stick with you forever, truly. So here's a few words from your guys' seniors, as well as Coach Joey and Jamie themselves. Hope wherever you guys are, you're safe, you're healthy, you're enjoying the company that you have in a time where we really need to be thoughtful about what's important. And I think this season, the fact that we were able to pull it off and we were able to compete and we were able to navigate the storm that was the COVID virus is again another just takeaway that we have to look back and understand how special it was to be able to not just compete and save the season with all the sacrifice that we did, social distancing and masks before training and washing and wiping of hands before and after every summer session, like you guys remember, the temperature checks through July, August, and the questionnaires every day. Hey, does any of this apply to you? All of that, we did it, and not just did it, we did it well, and we came out of it better, and it had a successful season that will go down, as the first one. So thank you guys again, players, parents, coaches, on a great season, and I'm looking forward to getting started in the off season as soon as possible. We have information developing in terms of winter futsal and lifting and all this fun stuff coming forward so that we can get back to work and start it all over again. So thank you guys again, and here's your seniors and the rest of the staff. See you guys.